zone safety.
It's a big one.
That's a biggie. Something I've dealt with the largest, well, since I was 18 years old and came to work for the highway department. And we have come an extremely long way with that, from the old days of holding a piece of plastic at the end of a stick that may or may not been read or whatever, to where we're at now with using stop soul paddles, and then using that. I'm very proud of CRH with the aware system and the technologies going into that. We've come a long way. And Mountain Companies is one of the better companies, not just in CRH, but in the state of Kentucky, of having proper work zones that are, along with the unit, you know, they match the Uniform Traffic Control Manual, along with the state guidelines of that resident engineer or that plan for that particular job. But you never take for granted that it's perfect. It's never perfect, because we're dealing with something that we have no control over, and that's the traveling public. And we do everything we can. We have toolbox talks. We communicate with radios and with each other, and everybody knows where everybody's at. This last couple of years, we were one of the leaders with the internal traffic control plans in our system that you guys put together, and even freaking frack come and videoed it, and we got a lot of national attention from CRH as well as the highway department for that. And that's because it does work. It works when you do it, and we will make sure we continue that standard that we've already set for the industry, that we continue doing that with our traffic control and our ITCP plans. And it's very close to me, because being with the highway department, unfortunately, and the fire service, I have worked those scenes that didn't go well. And we always prepare. And I tell everybody, the first thing you do out on the road is, where is your escape plan if it goes crazy? And we know it can go crazy in a heartbeat. It can be a teenager that don't know how to drive. It can be somebody on a cell phone that shouldn't be doing that. It can be a drunk or impaired driver. It can be a truck that gets out of control. There's so many things out there that can cause problems when we're working in live traffic. We never take it for granted that we're safe. I think sometimes we get too used to the hazards out there, and we need to always respect the vehicles going by us at probably 20 miles over the speed limit. We've come a long way. We get a lot of assistance with the blue lights. That helps a lot, but we're still never 100% safe out there. And the only way we can be safe is each one of us looking out for the other one, watching your head on a swivel the whole time, with situational awareness of where you're at in the job site and where you can go that's going to be safe, whether it's over the barrier wall or behind the truck. We do a really good job of keeping our pickups parked in staging area of equipment, doing it, but we can't take it for granted or let up on it. We'll be into a new paving season soon, and all this restarts. Our wire system is pretty amazing to alert the public as well as employees out there of an issue of somebody coming too fast into the job site. And going forward, I think the technology is going to be even better with that. We've looked at what the future may be, and I'm all excited about it. I think we are always trying to better our communication out there, and it's amazing. I think Jeff was with me one day. We was watching the guys work out there, and it was almost like an orchestrated event that everybody kept moving in a fluid motion, and the job site, right before our eyes, changed from paving one way to the other, and it was seamless. and everybody just done their job, and that's training and that's experience. But never turn your back on traffic, and never take it that we're 100% safe, because you're not. Always realize that we may not fail, but the public will, that we're dealing with. And and you guys are always great about letting us know you're close to the risks. A lot of the ideas that's come from the field that we put into place to make our job sites even safer and give us a better chance of surviving when something does go wrong from the public. So keep up the good work, and we will definitely, before we go back to work, lay in the hot stuff. This will be a big portion of retraining and come back to work. So.
Yeah, work zone training is always a point of focus every year. It was a little different last year. Usually it's a very lengthy presentation by somebody. I think we did it by video this year, and I think it went very well, given our current environment. It's a lot of valuable information in those training sessions and in those meetings, and it's been a long road to get here where we are. But here in Kentucky, I think we're trained and educated as well as anywhere in the country on what we're supposed to do and the level of training that we have. The way we apply our training in the field is very well done, whether it's our traffic control plan managing throughput through the job, or our internal traffic control plans, like JL said, we're managing equipment and trucks inside of our jobs. We take them to another level here and do it very well. And there's some things to remember. Always we want to maintain that 10-foot distance between ourselves and pedestrian and moving equipment. We want to make sure that we're always locking eyes with the operator before we approach. Make sure they understand we're there, because a lot of things out there are moving. Not a lot, all things out there are moving. Excavators in particular have a wide swing radius, so we've had guys struck by excavator buckets too, approaching equipment. So again, JL's point, have your head on a swivel, make sure you have good situational awareness. Don't take your safety for granted in a work zone, because failures happen every day. And we always talk about the bad things. We talk about an impaired driver or a speeding driver. That certainly does occur. And we have people just trying to get back and forth to work and may have a medical situation, and they may lose control of their vehicle. So we just never know the hazards that are waiting for us. Every day we show up on a construction paving job. We have to make sure that we're right down the middle, though, right where we're supposed to be with our training, our application, and our PPE and signage and all that goes into that. Chase, anything?
Yeah, with all the technology and procedures and policies that we have in place, I think our greatest protection on the road is probably each other, basically. You look out for each other, communicate. Constant communication is key. I think that is the number one aspect, is flaggers in communication and the employees. I think that's what we need to focus on first and foremost.
Again, work zone safety, work zone traffic control must be inspected. Sometimes we forget to do that. Whoever's in charge of the foreman, we have a really extensive list of people highly trained out there. Our QC guys are trained, so everybody is responsible for inspecting that job site. There's technicians and supervisors, and we really push that training, because anybody that's out there needs all the training they can get. And always look and make sure. I've travel a lot, and I go through work zones and I try to share it with people that the signs don't make a lick of sense whatsoever. And that can happen. We can have too much on our mind putting out the signs, and we don't do it correctly. So always double check, make sure that what we're putting out there makes sense. Because I have fun sending those pictures back to the highway department when their signs don't make sense. So let's let's not be their joke. Let me joke with them.
And being well lit in a job site is critical to what we do as well. I know we've come a long way. Guys, I know you agree with me. You know, when we first got together years ago, we might have had the minimum amount of lights out there. And now we are just lit up like crazy. All of our equipment is very well illuminated with LED flashing lights. You can certainly see us coming when you're traveling down the road. So we've come a long way, and we'll continue to get better at that as we go forward.
Yeah, one of our big pushes this year was the reflective tape
And the halo lights.
and the halo lights, and there's new halo lights coming. It's even better. Yeah, when I first came to Mountain, I don't know that maybe one out of every 4 pickup trucks even had a blinking light on it, let alone rotating or flashing. So, yeah, we've come a long way when we've got all these LEDs on everything we got, and that's good. We want to be seen. We want to be seen when we're out there, and the more the merrier, that we can make sure that we're being seen in a proper way, and not blinding the public. Night work, we always know those. When we have to do those, that's another hazard in the darkness. So we've got some of the portable light plants or small battery paired. Sometimes plants broke down and we're stuck out there just a little bit past dark, and we've got those. And then planned night work, we will bring out the light plants and go to that effect. But we even planned it for emergencies or breakdowns that we may get stuck out there. We can still comply with the law and be seen and make sure our flaggers are seen, because they're the ones that's keeping everybody else safe. Always try to make sure you respect your flaggers. They're your gatekeeper out there.
And the truckers, make sure they're up to speed on what traffic control plan you're using at the time. Make sure they're aware, so there's no doubt.
Employee engagement. That's I guess that's what we would call in the safety world is leading indicators that we're switching over to, instead of worrying so much about what things has happened. Is employee engagement is where we need our employees to be engaged in the safety culture, and for the most part we are. And that's kind of Chase's, where we put Chase, he's kind of over that to drive that. So
Yeah, we're happy with our engagement. It's been increasing slowly with the last 2 years. It's been increasing the variety of engagement that we're seeing. Everyone's contributing, and we're pleased with that. We think that through that engagement, we see just safer procedure. Safer. It's safer all across the board, and we're glad to see that.
And where we want to be really is the employees, all of you driving the safety process. It's your program really. A lot of the major improvements that we've seen over the years have come from people in the field, having ideas, and we'll take those ideas and develop them into something that's used across the whole country. So the engagement process, there are opportunities to involve yourself in the safety process, to make observations, to report a good catch when you see one, and to be a part of a problem-solving group or a safety committee. So don't be quiet about safety is what we always try to say. We want to hear from you. We want to know about things you see, and if you have an idea about how we can get better, we always want to know about what your thoughts are.
yeah, and everything's on the table. Any idea?
If you see something, you have a better, safer way to do it, then share that. Maybe someone else can benefit, not only within our company, but another company. We share that.
Contractor safety management. In the last few years, we have come a long way in that. I feel really good about our contractors that we have working out there. We mentioned the blasting contractors. We use a lot of contract truckers. We talked about our lifting operations will be a contract crane. A lot of different ways, contract electricians, contract welders, fabricators, etc. and then guardrail crews and bridge crews and signs crews, a lot of different contractors that we use. And that's for that you guys, our folks out there, eyes and boots on the ground, you can really become engaged in the safety program by sharing your knowledge with our contractors that's out there. And we've done that. We make an extra effort. Our rock salesmen and buzzes folks at the scale houses has really has raised the bar on that of involving our truck drivers and then going out to the jobs where we do have contractors working and sharing that even with other companies that we may be selling rock to or our asphalt to, of sharing our safety successes with that. And this all comes full circle. The more you guys are engaged with our contractors, you're engaged, we get them engaged, and we're a much safer operation, and our safety culture keeps growing and more. And in their eyes, we get those guys looking for safety stuff. We just increased the amount of eyes that's looking at our operations to make it safer and safer and safer. And we use those guys a lot, and we just it's an easy way for you to be engaged, is to have a safety discussion with a contractor.
It can be hard for us to keep up with them. I mean, it can be spread out, and you all are eyes and ears out there.
In years past, you know, when we got up against something that we weren't very good at or we weren't specialized in, we'd contract it out and we'd just let it be. You know, and whatever the risks were to contractors is what they were, you know, is their problem. But these days, you know, our contractors we use, whether they be our contract haulers, our blasters, guardrail folks, people that do many contract work at our plants or quarries, they're part of who we are now, part of our family. So we work really hard and to take care of them the same way. So we require a lot of them the same way we require a lot of you. Whether it's risk assessment, PPE, lockout, tagout, confined space, any of the life-saving rules that we've talked about today apply to us and apply to contractors the same way. There's no difference between their work and our work. And like these guys have said, you know, it's most of the time it's a good engagement opportunity to catch up with those guys to make sure that they know what they're doing, A, and B, that they know how to protect themselves. That they know that they have a conduit to ask questions to, and if they have a problem or something. So they need to understand that they have mechanisms in place for their protection and safe execution of their work every day.
And they're allowed, same as you are, if they see something, say something. We want them to have that ability. If they see a way we can make it safer, we want to use their knowledge and or talents or experience to make the whole mountain family, contractors and haulers and employees the safest it can be. Chase, Jeff, thank you for a discussion with life-saving rules here at Mountain Companies. Appreciate your time and efforts, guys.
Good to be here.
Thank you.